I, for one, think that the new CBA, the new 7-year CBA, Sam Amick, that the from the Athletic, that the NBA and the Players Association just agreed to, is a certified masterpiece. Like, I don't know which part I love more. I mean, whether it's players being allowed to invest in the NBA and WNBA teams being sponsored by gambling
Sure.
ventures or cannabis businesses, more than one designated supermax, the midseason tournament, positionless All NBA, rights revenue going into BRI. I'm probably missing something. Interestingly enough, the one and done rule. Oh, six minimum games played for awards. One and done is still a part of it. But what is your favorite part of the CBA? Or conversely, Sam, do you take exception with any part of this new CBA from what we know about it so far?
First of all, appreciate you guys having me, Michael, Natalie.
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
coming through.
It's funny. I know Natalie's got some roots in the Bay. Draymond is being pretty subjective here. You know what I mean? Like Draymond's mad about the Warriors situation. The second luxury tax apron and the kind of guardrails that it puts up for owners like Joe Lacob to go out and spend like drunken pirates when it comes to keeping dynasties together. I had not seen that video with CJ. And one quick thought on that front, it never ceases to amaze me in times of labor negotiations, how the union, even with guys that are very capable in the boardroom, good leaders, Chris Paul, CJ McCollum, they have a hard time getting their body together. Meaning, like, to hear CJ say, well, they got my number is yet another sign, like we've seen in the past, that they have a hard time with the messaging being consistent. Draymond's pretty high profile. His criticism was very loud. Like you said, though, Michael, I think there's a lot of good stuff in here for the players, specifically
It's very
that
modern.
ability. Yeah, it is very modern. Well, and so I looked at it again today, and I mean the ability to invest in NBA teams. I'm dying to see the fine print on this. Like, how is that gonna work? I own X percentage of this team, but now I got traded. I play over here.
Yeah.
I'm assuming and trusting that they work that type of stuff out. But that is very outside the box. That is very, player centric, pro player. The play-in tournament. I'm sorry, the midseason tournament. I'm a little lukewarm on. I understand they're trying to spice up the middle of the schedule. I hate the idea that inevitably we're going to have some games where, they assigned arbitrary double value to some regular season games where maybe Team X has a bad run health wise, and now that's having a ripple effect months later. Because of the way they set up the in-season tournament. We'll see how that goes. I'm a little bit of a creature of habit, so maybe I'm just being resistant to change. But all in all, I think they did get a lot of stuff that moves the league forward for players.
Well,
You
Sam,
know what?
I take great exception to it. So I do. And I feel
Yeah,
like obviously what I think many people aren't missing, like Draymond was offended by it, but so were Warriors fans. And the reason why it's ridiculous is not just because the Warriors and teams like them, it's not just about Joe Lacob spending the money, because the Clippers spend money and other franchises have spent money and are over that apron. The issue is that when you develop, you're being penalized for developing and drafting your players, because the Warriors are hitting their apron because largely their core are players that they drafted and develop. Like, they didn't just go out and buy a team. Steph, Dre, Clay, Jordan Poole, who's going to kick in next year, right? These were all
right.
players who they drafted, and there's no kind of exception made for that. So now they're paying these guys because they deserve the money. But now, as a result of this penalty, either they let the guys walk, and these other teams who didn't have the same success get to benefit from the Warriors' work, or they keep them and they don't have access to the mid-level exception. They don't have access
Right.
on the buyout market to go get guys. They wouldn't have been able to even acquire a Dante this year. I don't see how that's fair. You want the teams to develop, but yet you're penalizing a team that developed.
Very, very valid points. I get the sense from the NBA's standpoint that the counter for them, agree or disagree, I think part of what's happening here, everybody, is that the owners, and the Bucks are a good example. My understanding, my kind of insight and intel on it is the Bucks' motivation, Mark Lazary, partly to sell, was that he looked at a future in which paying Chris Middleton, paying Brook Lopez, paying Giannis Antetokounmpo, paying Drew Holiday was untenable unless, and not even if you do win a championship, the revenue that came into that franchise, even with the championship, the valuation increase that came into that franchise, even with the championship, their understanding of it did not justify the cost year over year over year. And the tough reality the NBA is faced with is that when it comes to the type of people with the type of bank accounts to own these franchises, that pool of people is obviously incredibly small because of how much cash we are talking about. And I get the sense with Michael Jordan now in talks of, selling Charlotte, with the Phoenix having been sold, you start hearing more and more rumblings of these teams and these owners essentially saying, man, you know what? I could just flip this thing, get out of this NBA business, make all my money now because I don't want to pay these prices to compete, to contend. The fan in me 100% is on your side. I think the business reality is such that they don't want these organizations to become short-term ownership time and again because the owners don't like the formula, if that makes sense.
Hey, but on the bright side, they ain't testing for weed no more. So there's that. Hey, Sam, thank you so much, man. we appreciate you coming through and dropping knowledge, man. Let's do it again soon, all right?
Of course, guys. Appreciate you. Have a good day.
You too, brother.
Thank you. Thanks, Sam. Hey, thank you for watching Brother from Another. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, go ahead and do that now. Don't forget, you can catch us 3 to 4 weekdays on PeacockTV.com and on Sirius XM Channel 85.